Okay, let's take a little tour now around what's going on. Joe Gibbs Racing here with ministry. First of all, on our Lifeway small group study, which I've been pointing out to a number of you, we're currently through the Lifeway stores, and you can also find out how to purchase this on GamePlanForLife.com. The small group study's really taken off, and as a consequence, what's going to happen? Lifeway is going to come back here in the next 4 weeks, and we're going to shoot the next 5 topics. So that will mean 6 topics are in the current first edition. We'll have 5 more of the topics, which will totally take us all the way through Game Plan for Life, and that will be in a small study format. I got to tell you this, I couldn't be more excited about this. It's professionally done. We shot a lot of it right here at Joe Gibbs Racing. The introductions to the different chapters, I think anybody would be excited about that. We also shot some at the football stadium, and Derwin Gray worked with me on that, and I think they did a very professional job, and obviously it's taken off. And now we're excited about being able to shoot the next segment of the 5 topics. So we're excited about that. Any of you that want to suggest that to your church groups or any small study groups, we really encourage you to do that. So that's small group study. Our speaking. Had a great experience speaking at 2 prisons in Marion, Ohio. And this was 2 weeks ago. I went and spoke to 2 different prisons, roughly 500 to 600 men at each one of those 2 prisons. I got to tell you the truth, that probably touches me as much as anything that I've ever been a part of from a ministry standpoint. Those guys looking you right in the eyes, not a one of them being disrespectful, every single one of them focused on what you're saying. And I think it's one of those things where they know what? They're in the middle of a tough stretch in their life. And the thing I said to them is this, my message to them is this, most of you guys are a lot younger than I am. As I looked out over this group, this particular prisons had the 20 to 30-year-olds, a lot of them. I said, look, you got the rest of your life. And the great news is what? We serve a God of second chances. Isn't that great? All the things that's happened in my life, the sins that I've committed, the sins that you have committed, have all been what? He gave a gift of His Son, Jesus Christ, and through that gift, we have forgiveness of sins. And I tell them, hey, we serve a God of second chances. All you have to do is look at David's life. Here's someone that committed sex sins, lied, in the end, murder. And yet when he went back and fell at God's feet, God said what? This is a man after my own heart. And so the message is what? Hey, for most of those young guys, they can come out of there, if they give their life to Christ, make Him the God of their God, and they commit Him to being their coach in the Game Plan for Life. Okay, they can do anything with their life they want to do. So that's the message we took to the prisoners. We're excited about that. We're going to Asheville. I'm excited about going to Asheville, North Carolina next week and give our testimony up there. I grew up in Inca, North Carolina, so I'm going back home. That's going to be exciting for me. And so we're excited about our speaking ministry. Obviously, we're also excited about the Zondervan projects. Chuck Merritt's head that up. And what's coming out of there is going to be printed material. We're going to have a New Testament study Bible, okay, that's going to include those little topics that we've been passing out and giving out freely to anyone that wants to contact us at GamePlanForLife.com. We're excited about that, a little New Testament study Bible. We're going to have a devotional that's coming out, a Game Plan for Life devotional. And now we're also working on a Game Plan for Life Bible. So all of those, pray for Chuck, pray for everybody writing on those topics, pray for all of us as we go through this, that this material will be material that can help people as they play the game of life. Okay, that takes us down to the last little thing I want to share with you, and that is, just in my studies, I kind of like to try and share something with you that meant a lot to me. Normally I'm speaking to myself in these little inspirational updates. And lately in my Bible study, probably, I guess, my favorite chapter in the Bible is Luke, the 5th chapter. And what we have there is this little parable and story about Jesus really saying to Simon Peter, hey, he'd been out fishing all night, they had got nothing. They had caught nothing. And so Jesus finishes speaking. He turns around to Simon Peter and he says, hey, listen, push the boat back out. We're going to go fishing. And of course, what did Simon Peter say? But hey, he says, hey, look, I have caught zero. Lord, we've been out there all night. We've got nothing. But the key here was what? He was obedient. He said, if you say to push back out with the boats, we'll do that. Put the nets down the other side. And basically what happened was what? They couldn't even pull the nets up. There were so many fish. So the key here, I think, is being what? Obedient. Now, I like to apply that little parable to anything you're involved in. If God's not involved in it, for instance, if He's not involved in our racing, okay, we got a chance for what? The zero. Nothing. Obviously, we think we're good at what we do. Those fishermen were good at what they done. Yet what? They knew a lot about that lake and that sea. They caught zero. Okay, so basically for us is what? Okay, we want to have God involved in what we're doing. And of course, part of that is in fishing, there's two people fishing for your souls. The point was made here in the fifth chapter. There's two people fishing. There's God, and He's fishing for your soul. Okay, and then there's what? Then there's the devil. He is fishing for your soul. And I think for you and I, whose line do we want to be on? Now that also goes to us that have given our life to Christ. What's our witness? Are we fishing? And Christ said in this 5th chapter, I want to make you fishers of men. Are we really becoming fishers of men? And I encourage everybody out there, I think about my own life. I'm speaking to myself here. Am I giving out tracts? Am I trying to witness by my lifestyle? Am I inviting people to church? Am I doing everything I can? Do I get up in the morning saying, God, give me opportunities today to be a witness for you? And I think that's the key for all of us. Are we really becoming fishers of men? What are all the different ways you can reach out to the people you work with, particularly your family? You got a huge impact on your family. Are we really being witnesses and fishers of men? Is that our goal? I encourage everybody out there. I kind of use a little story here to kind of illustrate this point. I came home the other night from the race from Talladega, and I walked over to our little airport here at Concord, and I looked through there, and there were some people out front that had autograph signing things. And man, I was totally wore out. And so I said to Mike, our pilot, I said, hey, I don't want to go through there, and you know, I'm wore out. I've been up early, stayed up late. I want to go home. I said, get me a golf cart and just take me out to the car. Well, Mike comes walking back, our pilot, and here's what he says to me. One of those guys said that your book, Game Plan for Life, has helped change his entire life. What do I do? I'm not going to the car. I'm going to walk back out. And I walked out to talk to these 3 guys. Well, I signed some autograph stuff for them, but here's really what happened. At the end of that little session where I signed for them, this one guy said to me, Joe, I just want to tell you something. Game Plan for Life has kind of changed my whole outlook on life. I've given my life to Christ. I'm taking my kids to church. And I stopped there and had a chance to kind of talk with him, and then the other 2 young guys kind of came over. And I had a chance really to kind of stand there and say to them, this is out of everything that happened today, the race at Talladega, all the things that I was going through in sports, this means more. Okay, that person saying that to me meant more than any of the races, winning games, winning races, anything that we could do here on earth. That is a person that's making a commitment to the Lord, asking Him to come into his life and be his Lord and personal Savior. And think about that. Now it's his children, it's his mate, and the other people that they're going to touch. And it continues to go on and on. And so we stood there, the 3 of us, and these guys were young guys. And I kind of shared with them. I said, look, hey, I'm playing in the 4th quarter. I'm much older than you guys. I encourage you to do this. Stay close to the Lord. Be in serious prayer and Bible study. Find a church where you and your kids can go. And I'm important to you. I'm telling them this is the most important decision I ever made in my life. And we stood there and talked for probably 15 or 20 minutes. And I was thinking to myself, now, that was an opportunity that I could have missed. Thank goodness our pilot said what he said to me. And so I just say to everybody out there, are we alert when we get up in the morning, we go to get our coffee, the people we meet there, could we pass out a tract? The people we work with, are we setting the proper lifestyle there? And really, Luke, the 5th chapter says, we should be fishers of men. If we have made a commitment to Christ, and it's the most important decision we've ever made, are we really telling others about it? And it could be in a lot of different ways. It's easy to hand out a tract to somebody. It's not hard at all. And really, to be on alert, to invite somebody to your church, to witness to your kids and your lifestyle. I just encourage everybody out there. God says to us, and Jesus says to us, He wanted us to be fishers of men. And all the ways, all the people that we touch in life, are we being fishers of men, the most important thing we could do. So I just share that with you today. Please go to gameplanforlife.com if you get a chance. We'd love to send you some free material, and we'll do that, and thanks for joining me.